Good afternoon and welcome to the SRUC Elmwood Greenkeeping and Golf Management live event. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. My name is Caroline Manzi and I'm the Marketing and Student Recruitment Officer at the Elmwood campus. And today I'm joined by 4 of our greenkeeping and golf management lecturers who I'll introduce you to shortly. Today's event is going to run in the form of a presentation. During that time, please feel free to drop any questions that you have into the Q&A box and we'll try our best to answer them at the end of the presentation. Thanks again for joining us. I'm going to introduce you now. First up, we've got Andy O'Hara. He's going to introduce himself and tell you a bit about himself.
Hi there everyone, good afternoon. As Caroline says, my name's Andrew O'Hara. I am currently the year tutor for the NC Greenkeeping group. My background in greenkeeping is that I have been a practicing greenkeeper for 43 years, starting off at Leaving Links in 1977 as an apprentice greenkeeper. Got quick promotion to an assistant head greenkeeper, then a head greenkeeper. My last job full-time in greenkeeping was the course manager at Leaving Links, where I done that for 25 years. During that time, I done part-time lecturing at Elmwood College from 2006 to roughly 2016. And now I've been back at Elmwood full-time for the last 2 years. So that's a brief background to my greenkeeping experience.
That's great, thanks Andy. We'll now pass on to Ian Butcher.
Thank you, Caroline. Hello everybody. I'm the HNC course tutor and yeah, very much like Andy, greenkeeping background. I thought it'd be interesting to just share why I chose to become a greenkeeper in the very earliest days. Around about 19, I decided to become a greenkeeper, and the reason was because you could get free golf. And there really wasn't any more reason to it than that, actually. But as I got into the job, and I was finishing at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and everybody else was still working, and I was playing on the links, I started to really fall in love with the subject. And I didn't do very well at school. Had a pretty poor attitude at school, didn't come out of clear qualifications. So when I went to greenkeeping college, and this was an English college, I really loved the subject and it changed my whole attitude towards education actually. I got on very well with the tutors, got on very well with my fellow students, and definitely decided I'd chosen the right career for me. And then the final thing that attracted me to greenkeeping was that there's golf courses all around the world. So I went off to Australia and I worked my way around Australia on golf courses. And then when I came back, I was recruited to be a head greenkeeper. And from there I went into teaching, very much like Andy. And so even today, I'm still in love with the subject. I love the passion that the industry has for turning out great golf courses, particularly in Scotland. We can talk about that a little bit more. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you joining the ranks of the Elmwood alumni.
That's great, thank you Ian. I'm now going to pass on to Stephen, who'll introduce himself.
Hi, I hope you can hear me okay. My name's Stephen Maitland. I've been at Elmwood since 2006. I'm currently the course tutor for HND golf management, the distance learning route. My job primarily revolves around the business management elements of the program. So for units such as supervision and management, ICT, which is information communications technology, and the communication unit. So within the HNC program, those are the key responsibilities that I have.
That's great. We're also joined today by Mike Clark. Mike, if you'd just like to introduce yourself.
Hi there everybody, welcome along this afternoon. Thanks for your time. As Caroline says, my name is Mike Clark and I'm the programme leader for golf and greenkeeping aspects at the Elmwood campus. As you can hear from the guys that you've already spoken with, there's a wealth of experience in the team. I too come from a greenkeeping background, although I've been at Elmwood now for 25 years, so it's been quite a while since I've actually been on the turf, so to speak. So today I'm going to take you through a little run through the courses we offer and how we deliver them. Oh, something's went wrong here. Slide's not changing. Give me a second. Oh, can you guys switch your cameras off, please? It seems to be. Caroline, can you hear me?
Yep, hi Mike. Yeah, we've got our cameras off here.
Right. Give me a sec. I don't know what's happened here. Hang on. Sorry, folks, we're just having a little technical issue here. I've got someone with me trying to give me a hand. Anyway, we'll do a quick run through without the slides at the moment, and hopefully they'll come back up in a second or two. We offer 3 courses here at Elmwood, full-time courses. We offer a 1-year national certificate course. We offer an HNC and HND. The HNC and HND are actually a 2-year course. However, you can jump off after 1 year doing the HNC and be credited there, and then move on to the 2nd year, which is an HND. All our courses, all our full-time courses, are 3 days per week. Oh, yep. Can everyone see that now, Caroline?
Yeah, that's great, Mike. Yeah.
Thanks, Fiona. Again, apologies. We've got a poor network connection here. Anyway, so now you can see the 3 courses, full-time courses that we offer up on the screen there. One's a national certificate in greenkeeping, followed on hopefully by the higher national certificate, which I've said already is a 2-year course leading on to the higher national diploma. Now, although it's a 2-year course, you can finish after year 1 and gain an HNC national certificate. I'll speak a little bit more about that later on. Our courses this year are going to start on the 28th of September. Normally they start in August, but because of COVID and various things, the restrictions that are placed upon us, we're actually putting our courses back to the 28th of September this year. Now that doesn't really affect the national certificate students very much, because we have our own 18-hole golf course, which again I'll speak about in a little minute. We do have our own 18-hole golf course, so we can have all our students up social distancing at the golf course, so we don't really have an issue there. So the 28th of September will be your start date. The college years run over 3 12-week blocks. So in other words, you have 12 subjects to do altogether. You have some subjects in the first 12 weeks and other subjects in the second 12 weeks, and so on. And the college courses are 3 days per week. Now at a national certificate level, although you're in 3 days per week, one of those days will be practical. Now don't worry if you've not got boots, overalls, etc. All that will be supplied. Boiler suits, overalls, gloves, hats, which you will need through the winter time. Now, on completion of the national certificate, the NC course, we normally, as a rule, have our students going out at Easter time, usually the first 2 weeks in April. The courses don't finish till June. So why do we do that? We put you out to local golf courses to gain some more experience actually working on the golf courses. We've, as Ian will speak about later on, we've got a very good connection with industry, a lot of industry experience and a lot of good friends in industry, and they happily take on our students and usually go out for a 6-week kind of work placement trial thing. And that 6 weeks clearly takes us up to the middle of May when the grass starts to grow, and these people are usually looking for seasonal workers, and the chances are you'll be kept on for the seasonal workers. So there's a win-win for everyone there. And on completion of that, you may be asked to stay on as a full-time member of staff, which would be great. But then you've got that choice. What do I do now? I want to continue with my education, or do I work full-time? However, if you've got full-time employment, you can come back to do the higher national courses through a distance learning programme. So there's a method to do that as well. Now, if, as I said earlier on, I've been at the college for 25 years now, and I think the guys will agree with me. I don't think we've ever had a class where some students need some sort of learning support. So if you need some sort of learning support, no matter what it can be, we've got a very, very good learning support mechanism at Elmwood. So that's there to help you. So please don't be afraid of that. That's there to help. Now, again, moving on to the higher national certificate, very much like the NC, but at higher level. And you can see there that we've put first year uni, second year uni, because on completion of the two higher nationals, the HNC and the HND, you can move on to the third year of a degree course at a university, which we hope to become in the not too distant future. So with the higher national certificate, you go out again, getting work placement, and hopefully you come back for the second year. If not, and you've got full-time employment, you can come back through a distance learning route. As mentioned earlier, we do have our own 18-hole golf course. All our students will be based up at the golf course this year. All our NC students will be based up there. We have, in the very first slide you saw, hopefully you saw that slide before it broke down, you see the name Greg Kilgour there. Now, Greg's our golf course manager. Greg's a very important player in the education of our greenkeeping students. Greg's also the health and safety advisor for Elmwood. So you can imagine that health and safety is very important in everybody's life, but Greg is a very much a stickler for the rules. We have got a duty of care, quite obviously, to make sure all our students are safely looked after, and Greg's very good at that. Greg's always also accompanied by a team of qualified instructors. So if you're out doing the practical tasks, you'll be shepherded with an instructor. They'll show you what to do with all the machinery. Talking of machinery, we've got a fleet of machinery. I like to call it a state-of-the-art fleet of machinery. And it is, but it's 3 years old now. It's all John Deere machinery. There are Toro, there are different organisations, companies, but we choose John Deere for this year. Up there you'll see that we encourage our students to play golf. We think it's very important for our students to play golf, because to be a golf greenkeeper, I think you really need, as Ian said at the beginning, that you really need an understanding of how the game of golf is played to be able to set up a golf course. And as Stephen Maitland alluded to, some of the subjects Stephen teaches, one of them is communication. And when you're dealing with golf club members, I'm sure Andy O'Hara will agree with me here, when you become a course manager, communication is absolutely vital. So now, our digital world, this is very prevalent just now, obviously, because of lockdown, but there's some good news on the news at lunchtime there that perhaps we're on the way out. Let's hope we are. But we're very much geared up towards doing everything digital. So we've got our online platform called Moodle. So when you become a student, you'll be given a username and a password, and you can use Moodle. All our learning materials are on Moodle. So when you go home in the evening, you can look at all the subjects you've been getting taught during the day and at the weekend. So you've got your own study time as well to look at all that. Now, how much study time is involved? Each subject typically is half a day for 12 weeks. So you have half a day. Now, the teaching is very different from what you might have been at school or other institutions you've been at. We tend to teach classroom with guest speakers, site visits, seminars, conferences, etc. So you may be in class for an hour, maybe max, with the teacher, lecturer talking, then you might be doing some research work in the library or computers, etc., etc. There'll also be expected to do study work at home as well. Now, we spoke about career progressions earlier on, and I'm going to let my colleague Ian speak a little bit about this. Hopefully yours is working a bit better than mine, Ian.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Yeah, it's working fine, and yeah, just following up on that, you know, we all pride ourselves, I think, at Elmwood on the success of students graduating and going straight into workplaces. A great track record in that. Now, one of the questions that might be coming today and students ask during their program is, you know, where can I work? And the answer to that is, frankly, anywhere you care to, because golf course managers around the world are always looking for people who are, you know, dedicated and reliable and interested. And so the employment prospects in golf are really quite superb, as long as, you know, you've got a good attitude and a good reference from us. So we always say to students, you know, choose your location and we'll help you there. I mean, Cameron here, you know, who finished his HND with us 2 years ago now, I think, you know, has chosen Australia, and we haven't heard from him since. I don't think he's coming back. We have, I'm joking, but He's certainly having a great experience out there, both culturally as well as professionally. And, you know, other students have gone to Scandinavia and not come back. Other students have gone to Ireland and not come back. So it's very much up to you to make your own decisions early on in the course, you know, about where your ambition is going to take you. And that doesn't mean to say that you have to go to the other side of the world, because, to be honest, the majority of our students are probably happier working closer to home, closer to their family and friends, and working on their local courses. And of course, that's absolutely brilliant too. We're just saying to you today that there are international prospects in golf, perhaps, you know, more than other disciplines that we teach. So, but feel free to ask any questions about that as well. And Caroline wanted us to mention the Ohio State University partnership we have. So again, America and the tournament, in particular the tournament golf in America, is another place that we can send you as well. So lots of international opportunities. Is that okay, Mike? You want to pick it
thanks
up?
for that, Ian. Thanks for that, Ian. Yeah, we mentioned earlier on, folks, about the study visits. Now, we're very fortunate. We're in a very fortunate position in the northeast of Fife with some of the best golf courses, in our opinion, in the world, certainly some of the best links courses in the world. So we take our students out to many, many visits. And to be honest, I'm not sure how that's going to work this year with COVID and the number of restrictions, but what we probably will do is split the class sizes up to a manageable number so we can take them out to these courses. The picture on the left there is Carnoustie, where the Open was played in 2017, and the picture on the right needs no introduction really. It's St Andrews, but you can see by the length of the shadows at the back that it was obviously in the winter time and the way the guys are dressed, so it's not always nice and sunny. So we take our students to these courses to let them see how the really top end courses work. Now, we don't just do that, we also take students to courses that perhaps have got very limited resources, very limited staff, and these course managers are very good to speak to try and get some sort of indication of how they manage a very, very tight budget. Because like everything you do with your own budget with our huge organisations, and particularly just now, the way things are going on with COVID, budgets are becoming extremely important. And that's another subject that Stephen Maitland will teach you when you progress to HNC. So I'll keep this slide up for a little while because that's got my name, Mike Clark, the programme leader. It's also got my email address and 2 phone numbers. Now, I'm quite happy if you can't think of a question today or there's something you don't want to ask, you want to ask later on. If you use the email, we'll get back to you as soon as we can. If I can't answer the question, I'm sure I'll get someone else to do that for me. But if you want to phone tomorrow or any other day for that matter, if you use the mobile number below, the 07500 one, that's the easiest one to get a hold of me, because the other one, the 01334, that's my desk phone, and clearly we're not at desks in the college at the moment, so I don't think we'll be going back there till the 11th of August at the earliest. I'm not quite sure, but anyway, the mobile number is the best one to get me on. So thanks for listening, and sincere apologies about the gremlins at the start. It just shows you with the way we're going with online teaching stuff that we need to have the best of Wi-Fi, so apologies about that, but thanks for bearing with me. Thanks a lot. Caroline?
Yeah, Mike, I've got some questions here.
Okay.
I think I'm going to direct this to Andy, because Andy, you're involved with the NC level, and Ian on the HNC. It says, what units do you enjoy teaching the most? Who would like to go first?
Yeah, you want me to run through that, Caroline?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Right, I'll put my camera back on. What units do I like teaching the best? Probably my favourite is plant husbandry. If I run through the mandatory units first, you'll probably find out that I quite like getting involved in them all. So the mandatory units are golf course construction and introduction, which I believe Ian does mostly, and it probably involves building bunkers, possibly building tees, and maybe how you build greens. So there's a bit of construction works in there. The next one is sports turf industry, soils and root zones, which Paul Miller does, and obviously all the grass grows mostly on the soil, so that tends to be a bit dry to start with, but then the students get into it and appreciate it an awful lot as they start learning about the grasses, etc., and how the soil actually relates to what type of grass grows. The next one is turf grass identification and production, which is one of my ones. And again, it probably takes a few weeks to get into that subject where they're learning about the different parts of grasses and parts of grass seeds, and then how it actually matters to how you're trying to grow the grasses. And then when we start talking about all the different types of grasses, the different characteristics they need for different situations, it gets very interesting. The other one is golf course maintenance, where probably the students like the best, where they're out actually finding out what all the different maintenance aspects are. I think that's Ian's one as well, which I'm jealous. I like that one. And sometimes get a bit involved with it more than maybe what I should. But yeah, that could probably be my favourite one. What I said to start was plant husbandry and common disorders. Again, that gets very interesting. We put that near the end of the course, and by that time the students are getting to know the grass, they're getting to know the threats to the health of the surfaces, and then all the jobs and how they impact on keeping the turf healthy. The other two mandatory units are golf club procedures, etiquette and rules, and that's quite a dry subject, and I'm quite glad Mike does that one because he's more of a golfer than me, and it has all changed the last couple of years, a lot of the rules and procedures, so I wouldn't put that down as one of my favourites. Thank you, Mike, for doing that one. And the last one I've got is sports turf industry, an introduction to health and safety. Again, that's quite a good subject, and it's one that runs right through the course with, as Mike mentioned before, Greg is very, very strict on health and safety, quite rightly so. It's something that we've all had to do over the past 10, 15 years more than what we previously had to do 20 years and more ago. There is several optional units. There's work experience, which again is good because it starts preparing the NCs for going out into the work there, and this time they're starting to get excited about going out to work, so they quite like that one. Draining sports turf surfaces is quite a shortish unit, but it's again important about how we keep the right soil moisture levels in the soil, how we drain excess water away, how we maybe want to keep a certain amount of water in the surfaces. So although it's not my favourite, it is important. We've been doing irrigation the last year, and again I think Ian did that one. So in one breath we're trying to get the water away from the surface, the next one we're putting the water on. So it's realising how that might sound stupid, but why it's important for the health of the grass. And other subjects they're doing as optional units is Lantra training for ATV vehicles, strimmers, pedestrian mowers and ride-on mowers. Now if the students get these units, they get a certificate, and it's like a wee credit card badge they get, which they could take out into industry. And when I was out there as a golf course manager, if I had a trainee coming in with one of these certificates, badges, it was great because most of my training was then done for me. We do have one or two other optional units. Compost teas springs to mind, but going back to it, my two favourites is definitely plant husbandry and Ian's one about the annual maintenance programme for a year. Hope that is succinct enough.
That's really thorough. Thanks, Andy. I'm just going to go to Ian now. Ian, have you got any favourites from teaching from the HNC?
Yes, Caroline, I'll just keep this very brief. I just mentioned one subject because of this summer, and we've been in lockdown, so we've had a chance to sort of reflect on our teaching and update our knowledge in some subjects. So this particular summer I've been absorbed with the history of golf. I teach history of golf on the HN programme, and it's been absolutely fascinating to just remind ourselves that Scotland gave the game of golf to the world, and it is a peculiarly Scottish game, and to get qualified in Scotland I think is really quite important. I mean, it has a huge respect around the world that the game came from Scotland, and Scotland understands the game better than anybody else. And as the world is going into a more environmentally challenging time, perhaps, and they're going to have to change the way that they manage landscapes and estates, Scotland can play a lead role in this. So it's very important to get qualified anywhere in the world, but in Scotland it's particularly special. And I recognise it maybe more than some do, because you can probably tell from this accent that I am not local, and therefore I pay more than others do for this country and its tradition of.
That's great. Thanks, Ian. Earlier on, you did talk about placements, but I've had a question about where our past students have been on their placements. Who would like to answer that one?
Well, I'll start off and Ian can maybe chip in. So it's Mike here again. Yeah, work placements. We pride ourselves, as I touched on earlier on, and hope you caught that bit, that we're very well connected in the greenkeeping industry, and our students go predominantly over the UK, but quite a lot in Europe, some as far as South Africa, and as we mentioned, Cameron went away to Australia, and as Ian said, we do have a very strong connection with an Irish American and Michael O'Keefe at the Ohio State program in America, so students can also go across there. So basically anywhere in the world, but clearly it depends on how old you are, how you feel about being away from home for any length of time. So usually our NC students, we start off round about 5 or perhaps a little further, and then once maturity settles in and people are quite happy to travel abroad on their own, perhaps somewhere in Europe. It may this year be a little different, obviously, with COVID, but we'll just have to wait and see. But if someone wants a job in Norway, for example, we've connections over there. We've connections in 5 golf courses with the 5 golf trusts, so we've got something right close at hand or something. And again, depending on your ability, how you feel about going out to work, we've got NC students, I think, this year. Andy, did any of them go to Sweden? I think one went. Mark went, didn't he?
Yeah, there was only one went to Sweden this year, Mark Davidson. Last year,
Yeah.
5 or 6 went to Sweden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So work placements. When the people come in, obviously not doing this online, but when people come into the college to do it, myself and Andy, we use a word. It's quite a strong word. We guarantee you a position out there. Now that's quite a strong word to use, and that's, if you're wanting a career in greenkeeping, we can guarantee you to at least get a seasonal placement. But that guarantee is definitely up to you. We've got to be able to pick up the phone and phone a golf course manager and say, you know what, we really recommend this person, or perhaps not. So that really depends on attitude from the student, and not always academic ability. If you've got a good work ethic and you turn up on time and you're employable, and we can put our name to your name, you'll get a job. So hopefully that answers your question, Caroline.
That's very thorough. Sorry,
Can I just add to that? Yeah, absolutely, 100% agreed with Mike on that one. Bosses aren't necessarily looking for your academic record, they're looking for reliability in the workplace. It's a good idea, as Mike suggested, to maybe get that work experience more locally first. And then once you've gained that, practical experience over your first summer, then those practical skills are very attractive in other parts of the world, and like Scandinavia, for example, which is proving a more and more popular option.
That's great. I've got another question here as well. It's about timetabling. What days will we be in college? So is that different from the NC and the HNC?
It is, Caroline, yeah, because we're quite a small team, so clearly we can't have all students in at all times. And it's myself that does all the timetable, actually. So for this year, the timetables have been done, and the NC course, they'll be in all day on a Monday, all day Wednesday, and all day Thursday. So there'll be no classes Tuesday and no classes Friday. However, it might get to the stage where we have such a big class, we might split the practicals up into 2 days. But this year they're coming in Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. The higher national, the HNCs, they'll be in on a Tuesday afternoon and all day Wednesday, all day Friday, and something similar in blocks 2. So that'll only be for the first 12 weeks, and something very similar in blocks 2 and 3. And for anyone that's there coming on an HND, it'll be a Monday morning and all day Tuesday and all day Thursday. So basically half a week, but we like to tell our students well in advance when they'll be in, so they can arrange their personal lives around that. But clearly this year is going to be different. Although we've said earlier on that all the classes will be starting on the 25th of September, the NC, the National Certificate classes, will actually be face-to-face on the golf course, where the higher national HNC and the HND will more than likely start off in block 1 online, a bit of blended learning, as they call it, That's where our Moodle platform that I had a slide up earlier on, we're way ahead of the game there in greenkeeping. We're very fortunate because we've been doing distance learning for oh, goodness knows how many years now. And we've got circa, the guys will keep me right here, particularly Stephen and Ian, they deal a lot with the distance learners. We've got circa 180 people doing that from all over the place, you know. So yeah, we're up to speed. Should the virus, God forbid, should the virus get out of hand again and we've got to do lockdown again, we have everything we need online.
That's great. Thanks, Mike. Well, that concludes our questions for this afternoon. I would just like to thank everybody for tuning in and taking the time to come to our event today. Mike, would you like to close the event?
Yeah, just want to say thanks very much to everyone for coming along. And please, there's no such thing as a daft question. So if you prefer to email, by all means, use that email that's up there, michael.clark@sruc.ac.uk, or the mobile number 07500 764 320. I'll answer that phone. If I don't answer it right away, leave a message and I'll get back to you, because I may be in a meeting like this or something like that, but we'll certainly do that. So thanks very much for attendance. And it just goes to show you, no matter how much preparation you make, the gremlins can attack your computer. So I do apologise for that. It got me a little bit flustered. I was looking at a screen that you guys weren't. So there you go. That I can assure you that it doesn't happen in college. Thanks, folks. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.